All right, 1 year ago, rioters stormed the U.S. Capitol building. Kilmeny was filling us in on what's going to be taking place today there. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will speak in about 55 minutes. Of course, we'll have that here on Newsmax. Something that was condemned, by the way, what happened on January 6, 2021. It was condemned on both sides of the aisle and here on Newsmax. That is something that is continuously overlooked. We are not diminishing anything. Joining us now for more on what happened and what it looks like 1 year later, Republican leader of the House Committee on Oversight and Reform, Kentucky Congressman James Comer with us. Congressman, great to have you on. Happy New Year. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Happy New Year.
Congressman, so here we go. Joe Biden's going to address the nation in just a little bit. He's going to condemn Donald Trump and blame this on Donald Trump. That, according to Reuters this morning. He, according to that Quinnipiac poll that came out in early November, had a 36% approval rating. Is that the right direction to go this morning? Again, this is a president that ran on America United. That was his inaugural theme on January 20th a year ago. Is that the right message? Is that the right tone to strike today?
No, it's not. And Joe Biden ran on a theme of bringing people together, and he has not demonstrated an ounce of unity the entire first year of his presidency. He's only been divisive. Every piece of legislation that he's proposed has been partisan in theme. He has no Republican support. He seeks no Republican input. And as a result, he has accomplished very, very little legislatively. But what the American people have seen is through his executive orders, we've seen the results of liberal Democrat policy, in the result of inflation, in the result of no border security, in the result of increased crime. So it's very disappointing that Joe Biden has the bully pulpit, has an opportunity today to try to bring America together, but he's only going to further divide a very divided United States of America.
Congressman, you, of course, were at the U.S. Capitol a year ago as we were certifying the election. Matthew Dowd on July 6th, so 6 months ago to the day on MSNBC, said that what happened on January 6th was worse than 9/11. You all lawmakers in the House went back and certified the results of the election late that night on January 6th a year ago. People that were working in those buildings in the Pentagon and in Lower Manhattan, they did not return to their office buildings on 9/11. We lost one person in the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. On 9/11, we lost almost 3,000, 2,996. How much of this and the coverage that we've seen by some of the other networks over the last year is really about diluting Donald Trump and his viability in 2024 and everybody who's back on the ballot in November?
Unfortunately, the majority of what you're seeing in the mainstream media is about trying to punish Donald Trump, trying to embarrass Donald Trump. Look, what happened on January the 6th was unacceptable. I condemned it then. I condemn it now. I was actually on the House floor, and I can tell you it was something that we should never see again in the United States of America, especially in the center of democracy. But having said that, the Democrats have tried to overplay their hand. You know, there are two areas where there should be investigations. First of all, preventing this from happening again, and what happened with the security lapse to create an environment where people could storm the Capitol. Secondly, obviously, you need to see if this was pre-planned and if there were some bad actors involved. So, you know, the Democrats have just tried to play this from an angle of embarrassing Donald Trump, embarrassing the Republicans, when, unfortunately, if they were sincere about true investigation, they would try to figure out what happened with the lapse in security at the Capitol that day.
Yeah, so that's a great point. And I think that some of the focus today should be on the lack of security. Why were Capitol Police so unprepared? We know from FBI documents that there were rumblings of something taking place at the U.S. Capitol. Republicans, I know, plan to release their own Capitol riot report discrediting whatever the January 6th committee does find. I found it interesting that Benny Thompson said earlier this week that their final report should be out in October. Coincidentally, right before the November elections.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's all political. It's been political from day one, and that's very unfortunate. Speaker Pelosi had an opportunity to try to do something in a bipartisan manner, and when the Republican leader, Kevin McCarthy, appointed members to the January 6th committee, she immediately removed them because she didn't like them. Well, I can tell you the Republicans don't like a lot of the Democrats that are on the committee. We don't like Adam Schiff and Eric Swalwell and Jamie Raskins and whoever else that she's put on the committee. But that's her choice. It's just like it's a Republican choice to put on the committee. She made the committee partisan from day one. Therefore, the majority of Americans aren't going to put any credibility into whatever the final report says. And that's unfortunate, because I do believe the American people deserve answers. We also deserve answers to the security lapse, and they're not even going to cover that in the January 6th committee, and that's very unfortunate.
Which is shocking, because that's what it was, a lapse in security, at least on some level. Congressman Comer, it's great to have you on for the first time in the new year. Look forward to having you back on again soon. Thank you. Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.